The 2023 Ballon d'Or will be handed out in October, and already there are a number of names flying around regarding who deserves it. Names like Messi and Mbappe will surely come up, and there are even some new names in the conversation this year, like Osimhen and Vini. The truth is that each of these players has been pretty fantastic this season, and you can make a good argument for them. However, if the Ballon d'Or is really about rewarding the most outstanding footballer in the year under review, then the award should go to Erling Haaland without question. The season the Norwegian has had in his first year in England is absolutely mind-blowing, and he actually deserves to sweep all the awards this year. He seems quite on course to win the Premier League Golden Boot, European Golden Shoe, Premier League, PFA and FWA Player of the Season awards, and the 22-year-old deserves to crown it all with the Ballon d'Or in October. You ask why he deserves it? Well, here's why. First of all, not only is he going to end the season as a Premier League top scorer, he is also going to finish as a top scorer in all of Europe. On top of that, in just his first season, he broke numerous Premier League records which had been standing for years before his arrival. In some cases, even before his birth. He recently became the all-time top scorer in a single Premier League season, doing it in fewer games than the previous record holders. He is also alone up there as the player with the most goals scored in a debut Premier League season. Much earlier in the season, he became the fastest player to score 3 Premier League hat-tricks, beating the previous record by 40 games. He also became the fastest player to score 10 Premier League goals, first ever player to score hat-tricks in 3 consecutive home games, and the Premier League player to score the most goals across all competitions in a single season. Okay, you know what? Enough of the Premier League. We're sure you get the point by now. Haaland came in and tore the English top flight apart. But was he able to do the same in Europe? You bet he was. This season, he became just the 3rd player in the history of the Champions League to score 5 goals in a single game, and also became the youngest player to hit 25 and 30 Champions League goals. On top of these records, he currently tops the Champions League top scorers chart for the season, and he has led Manchester City to the semi-final. Haaland scores goals for fun, we all know that. But you know what's crazy? He's great at creating them too. He is currently one of the top 10 players with the most assists in the Premier League. As a matter of fact, he is the striker with the most assists in the league this season. So much for tap-in merchant, isn't it? But of course, it's not just about the fact that he scores goals. Those goals have made Manchester City better and have kept them in the running for all the major honours. As it stands, City have a good chance of completing the European treble by winning the Premier League, Champions League and the FA Cup this season. Thanks to his goals and assists, Man City now have the Premier League in their hands, and if he continues to score as he has been doing all season, they will almost certainly seal it off. The club is also in the FA Cup final and are 1 game away from winning the domestic cup for the first time since 2019. And of course, the big one, the UEFA Champions League. Manchester City have never won it before. They came close in 2021, but it didn't quite happen for them. When Haaland was signed last summer, we're pretty sure he was aware of the amount of pressure being piled on his shoulders. The club had come close in a number of seasons, but have never been able to complete the job. So, they brought him in hoping he'd be the one to take them 1 step further and actually bring home the big ears. And the truth is, so far, he has stepped up. He is the top scorer in the Champions League this season, and by some distance too, scoring all sorts of goals for City on their way to the semi-final of the tournament. He has scored tap-ins, acrobatic goals, beautiful goals, game winners, you name it. It's pretty certain that he'll finish as a top scorer in that tournament, but he seems to want a little more than that. He might not publicly admit it, but we're pretty sure he has his eyes on Cristiano Ronaldo's record for most goals scored in a single Champions League season. Haaland is currently 5 goals away from equaling the record, with 2 games and a possible extra one to play. It's going to be a really tough record to break or even equal this season, but you just cannot completely rule this guy out. Not this Haaland we've been watching all season, no way. Now, on top of many of the goals he has scored and records he has broken this season, Haaland is on the verge of doing the unthinkable with his Man City teammates. They're in the running for the European treble, and they look like they want to become only the 2nd ever English team to achieve that feat, equaling the feat achieved by their neighbours in 1999. If City indeed managed to win the treble, then surely the Ballon d'Or has to go to Haaland, who has been the outright most outstanding player for the Manchester club this season. I mean, the European treble, the European Golden Shoe, Premier League and Champions League top scorer, and possibly a couple Player of the Year awards here and there. Come on, it would be a massive injustice if he doesn't win it then. But Haaland is surely not going to just waltz to his first Ballon d'Or. Nah, not at all. We don't expect him to. He currently has some heavy competition from Vini Jr, Kylian Mbappe and Lionel Messi. A month ago, we would have also added Victor Osimhen and Javier Kvaratskhelia to that list, but seeing as they got dumped in the quarter-final of the Champions League, that's 2 less players for Haaland to worry about in his quest for the Golden Ball. Anyway, of all the players mentioned, Vini Jr seems like the one with the biggest chance to actually stop Haaland as they go up against each other in the Champions League semi-final in a matter of weeks. The Brazilian winger has not done badly this season at all. In a season where Benzema has been riddled with injuries and has not really been himself, Vini has stood up and carried Madrid to the final of the Copa del Rey and the semi-final of the Champions League. Now, the La Liga is pretty much gone, so no real hopes of a treble there. But if he's able to complete that double, then Vini would definitely have a shout at the Ballon d'Or at the expense of Haaland. And of course, Mbappe is a name that will always come up. But we think that Haaland has done enough to be sure to finish ahead of Mbappe in the Ballon d'Or rankings this year. Yes, the Frenchman led his team to the World Cup final and finished as the top scorer in the tournament, but getting knocked out in the round of 16 in the Champions League and having no other trophy than the French League One to hold has not done him a lot of favours. The only way we can see Mbappe finishing above Haaland, if Haaland and Man City somehow bottle in all 3 competitions they're looking to win. Now, that would be a disaster. But what are the odds of that happening? Anyway, when it comes to the Ballon d'Or conversation this year, the one person who can most realistically stop Haaland from winning his first is the man who is gunning for his 8th, Lionel Messi. Winning the World Cup as the best player and the second highest goal scorer in the tournament is enough to win any player the Ballon d'Or in any year, to be honest. We all saw how, in 2018, a World Cup Golden Ball, despite not even winning the competition, was enough to win Modric the Ballon d'Or. And it's because of this Messi threat that we think it's important for Haaland to win the Champions League this season, and probably even the treble, to secure the Ballon d'Or for sure. But what do you think? Who will win the 2023 Ballon d'Or? Drop names in the comments.